Now, the profile of technology has changed. We're in an age now where I think it's probably as good a time as ever to be a trader in terms of the number.
Hey, welcome, Raj.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Raj. We're so excited to have you on this podcast today. We are very happy that you made your, way all the way from UK. You have been working in the energy industry for over a decade. You've seen, God knows, you have seen everything what is to be seen there, all right? But specifically, if we zoom in into the trading technology part, you have been working for quite some years there. Can you tell me a little bit about your background then?
As you said, I've been working in energy for over a decade. I think loosely before I was working on as a banker for energy, so on the finance and investment side. And then I moved in sort of the trading technology space. I found it to be a very fast space. I think my perspective and how I've come to really learn about the industry and the market has been by talking to clients. So sort of by trade, I'm a sort of relationship manager and relationship person. So building partnerships and things like that, which is why I'm here today. So almost everything I hear comes directly from the horse's mouth, so directly from the traders. And it's been part of my job to take what they say, assimilate it, and hopefully produce something really good.
You have the first-hand feedback, and that's the most valuable you can take and work with, right?
Yeah, exactly. And even about what we do at 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐻, our moniker is trade the way you want. So we're a software company, as we said, in the trading technology space. But what we're really trying to do is build the exact workflows that companies want. So our moniker is trade the way you want, but that's also, in fact, actually a bit of a challenge because it's when a client or a prospect tells us exactly what they want to build, it's up to us to be able to say, yes, we can do that as fast and quick and as efficiently as possible.
Right. While not everybody might be familiar with 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐻, would you mind giving us a little bit more, step back into the history, and if you can explain really who 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐻 is and what is it, the whole service and product about?
With 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐻, you may have only started hearing about us in the past couple of years, but it's actually a company whose technology has been based on and been worked on for about 15 to 20 years. So in a previous life, it was part of 𝐓𝐬𝐳, so a much larger group, and has been a sort of a well-established software company within the space. 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐻 is a second incarnation of that, as sort of built upon its basic principles. So 𝐓𝐬𝐳 at the beginning was a consulting company, which sort of grew through word of mouth through the industry. So all of the teachings and different lessons that the company had learned from talking to different clients and work on very bespoke projects. 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐻 is a spin-off from that. What is it adding to it? It's by taking those consulting workflows and then adding it to a standardized SaaS product. So to use that as a resilient base and then to be able to build exactly what people want on top of that.
Can you emphasize a bit more there? Because you said it comes from a consultant, and now it's a full stack technology SaaS platform. But what did you add then over the years to move from something which was consultancy to now to a full technology product?
Yeah, sure. I think like with a lot of things, when you're working with something bespoke, when you're working on a consultancy base, I think everything's very functionality heavy, and then the people who are working with you on the project, they learn how to use that and they pass that information down to the different teams over the years. With the sort of the full stack SaaS platform that we have now, it has a new UX, so it's a very easy to use product. It's much more intuitive. It gives people the ability to trade and build different workflows very quickly. And then it will take that, and then on top of that, you can add new workflows, but then again with a better UX and a much more fluid work stream. It's something where you can build the way you want it, but for someone to use it, it's much more simple.
And can we jump one step back, because maybe for the people listening today, it's still not fully clear, what is 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐻? What do you offer as a technology product?
We sort of have four main pillars. So we have our energy trader, which is a trading front end. You're able to view all of your different markets in one place and trade upon them with different tools and visualizations that would come from it. We have an internal market or a marketplace, which we've been working on for a number of years, and has been one of the keystone sort of products of 𝐸𝐴𝑠tar. From there, this has multiple use cases. So people are able to trade by involving other departments. So involving internal trading, they can create simulation environments to forward test their own trading strategies from that. They're able to also create new revenue streams by using different price distributions. There's a numerous number of use cases that can come with this internal market, and that connects onto the energy trader itself. So that's kind of where you're starting to be able to customize different workflows in the trading sphere. We also have an algorithmic trading product as well, so people are able to build, design, and implement their own algorithms on a variety of markets.
And when you say variety of markets and energy trader, you're talking about power and gas?
Yes, that's correct. We're pretty heavy in the intraday markets as well, which we've seen obviously over the recent years grow quite a bit. But we also do a lot of work on the more established exchanges, such as ICE and CME, and on sort of products which trade with a high frequency on those markets too.
Is high frequency something you're really focusing on?
I think for us, we've seen as a trend over the years that speed has become a massive part of everybody's trading process, and the ability to get in and out of a position has become more and more important. I would say in terms of when we have our inbound conversations and when people approach us, it's always top of the agenda. So for us, we focus on that by being co-located with all of the exchanges, and we go to sort of great lengths to ensure that we're minimizing latency across any kind of market, any exchange that you'd want to trade on. And that's really helped us, sort of open up new markets. So working in sort of the more American markets and in some of the Asian markets as well.
And when you talk about trends, and you also said more on the intraday side, which is of course the physical spot markets on power and gas. Typically, they have their own software, from the exchange vendors, but you have then an integration. So you have on one side your whole curve trading on power and gas, financial or physical, and then also the spot side. How is that development going? Do you really see only over the last few years that physical intraday side is super interesting and people want more functionality than rather just their exchange client? Or how does it look for you?
Well, I think it had been building. I mean, the intraday, the physical intraday power stuff, for example, has been building over a number of years now. I think in terms of it coming into a wider space, so there's more people who are looking to enter that and make use of it. I think people are seeing it as more of a necessity and an excellent, a revenue generator, more than something to speculate on or moving a trend to move into the future. It's much more something that what we see as more commonplace within the markets. Obviously EPEX Spot, a lot of the volumes on there are API driven. That's no secret to anyone, but I think we're also seeing companies wanting to access more of the local intraday markets in other areas as well. So, moving into Eastern Europe, CROPEX, 𝐓𝐴𝐴𝑥, and the volumes on numerous different markets as well.
Is that a big part of your new market area, so to say, the whole development towards the CEE markets? Because what we see with Time2Market is we do a lot of physical spot setups. CWE is, of course, one of the core markets that everybody wants to be on. But once participants are there, they also like to go more eastwards, with Poland, Czech, Hungary, Romania, Slovenia, Croatia. Do you see the same?
Yeah, we do, and we've already started having conversations with companies around that. One of our sort of principles, as I was saying, coming from a consultancy base, is if someone wants to connect to a market, we can provide that with them. So everything we do is very much client led, but definitely we're seeing more and more companies look to go that way and looking at a bigger variety of exchanges.
You mentioned these 4 products that you have. So how much can you customize these for the any specific need or specific client?
The product has always been built with as much optionality and as much functionality as you could possibly offer. I think that's one of the challenges as an ISV is when you're presenting that to people, that's a huge amount of information for someone to take on. So we take a lot of time to deep dive and speak to clients a lot first before we even start to show them the product, and that's because we need to narrow it down to exactly what they want. I felt like when I was even describing the products earlier, in terms of the use cases, there's so many of them that it's actually even hard for me now to suddenly go in and synthesize that information.
So you're saying that if I would be a trading company and I have the people to customize myself, you can give me the key to the box, and our people can work around the systems and put our own, strategies and whatever it might be into your service.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the main thing. So we're not claiming to say, we're not trying to tell someone else how the best way that they should
Right.
trade. What we're trying to say is, if you tell us what to do, it's our job to do that.
Right.
Now the profile of technology has changed. We're in an age now where I think it's probably as good a time as ever to be a trader in terms of the number of services that are available to you. The space is much more entrepreneurial. There's lots of new companies coming up and making a really good name for themselves, selves included, of course.
Thank you.
And there's a lot more things that clients can do.
Trade the way you want, right? That's the slogan. But all parties are unique in their own way, have their own edge, have their own focus. How can you make sure, being 𝐸𝐴Star, that all these parties being so different, that they can still trade the way they want with one pack of solutions?
Exactly. I think with the amount of customization that's available in each of the products, you can create a variety of workflow to not make one to not sort of just completely simulate someone else's piece. But on top of that, it is really the consulting services that we would add on top of that. So everybody's looking for edge, and especially now, everyone's looking for speed. Everyone's looking for edge. What can you offer? So oftentimes we'll build pieces for clients, and then they'll almost say, could we have exclusivity on this for a number of years, because they believe that's going to create them that edge. So I think that extra piece is what really I think is the big USP for us and why clients want to use us.
So even though many in the market know you as a SaaS software provider, a technology product, your message here is that you are a lot more, because that consultancy leg is still there and you can really assist and help your clients further.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
One question which I still want to address, or question, topic mostly. We are sitting here together, Time2Market, 𝐸𝐴Star, and I think the majority of the people who are listening know who we are, what we do. They might have not been so familiar with 𝐸𝐴Star, but they're getting the clue of it now. But it's also about synergy, of course. Why are we sitting together? Why are we having a partnership? What is the added value here of Time2Market and 𝐸𝐴Star being a lot closer together?
Partnership is a huge, importance for us also, because obviously in many cases we're in dialogue with the clients or prospects where they are just entering the markets. They're trying to get the best solutions out there. They're getting their hands dirty. They don't know where to go. What are the best solutions they can get? And we just really want to work closely with the best solution providers, software providers, SaaS providers, and in this case, the energy trading platform providers that we are proud to work with, but also at the same time feel comfortable enough with, recommending it to our clients, because for us, our clients' success is the most important, really, to bring the most value possible. And we are just, really grateful for this collaboration. And we strongly believe that, 𝐸𝐴Star has really all the attributes that our clients need out there.
Energy trading space has become wider, and traders are looking at different markets in a more holistic way. I think that's services like what you offer and onboarding people into new markets gives people a lot more time to focus on what they really want to is the actual assets and the trading and the revenue side themselves. So I think there's a natural synergy there for us, and as I've said before, there's a lot of expanding into new places, and a lot of the time people need help or local knowledge, or proprietary edge to be able to help them be onboarded as quickly as possible and not be tied up with the paperwork.
Sometimes it's new market participants who have no clue about energy. Sometimes it's hedge funds who know everything about trading, but not specifically about spot markets, power or gas. And sometimes we're dealing just with energy trading houses that know everything. They just don't want to bother themselves, and they see the added value of us doing a new market setup. Someone new to the market, how can they benefit from 𝐸𝐴Star? Or when looking at a hedge fund, how can they benefit from 𝐸𝐴Star? And we see the value, but can you tell them?
we can see that obviously, like you said, there's a lot more quant style houses and hedge funds who've been entering the energy space, and what comes with that is, you know, they have huge research budget and analysts. They pick some of the best talent from around the world, so all of the proprietary information is with them. What an 𝐸𝐴 offers them is an ability to take that information and be able to transact that onto the market in an exact way that they would like to. So, you know, it's about us asking ourselves, does our technology enhance and make your ideas better, or do they hold them back? Because if it is holding them back, then you know,
You've got work to do.
yeah. And I think, you know, things such as, you know, when the market's volatile, we look at that as an opportunity for people to make money from that. But if you're worried that your technology isn't up to scratch, you can't make the most of those pieces, I think that's a really difficult space to be in. So what we're always striving for is, how can we make your ideas better, more advanced, and be able to deliver the results that you want? Because that's really what it all comes down to at the end of the day.
Let's not forget how important time is. Sometimes it comes at, you know, just a moment where you have to admit that, you know, my time is more precious to do something else that brings more value for our company to grow in specific direction. And really, it's why we're here today is, you know, the time to market. And if, you know, the 𝐸𝐴 solution can help faster getting to the market, then it's a no-brainer, you know. Or if, you know, getting to new markets and figuring all the regulations out, it really is a time killer for them, you know. Hiring us, let's say, is a no-brainer for me.
How do you shorten a time to market for your client?
One of the big things is we have the people who work with our clients, our consultants are dedicated to that client only. So we like to think from the start, as they get to know them more and more, that time actually, we hope it's quick at the beginning, but we like to think that time reduces as time goes on, because they just have a much better understanding and embedded workflow with those clients. Because, you know, every company works differently, every company has different setup. Those consultants will be working with different partners within the organization. So the more that they become embedded into that, and it's a more seamless transition, the much quicker we find that we're able to create those pieces. And it's a feedback loop as well, like all technology. So it's us listening to the clients, we're taking the feedback. We can, you know, for example, we build the first incarnation of something, they like it, but it's not quite there. We need to take that back, and and it's a real action about we're continually refining, continually listening, continually actually taking action around those pieces, so then we can continue to deliver.
Absolutely.
And have you also been a facilitator towards a new market, that one of your clients entered a new market because you had your product ready?
Yes, in a way. I think a lot of it was people recognized a lot of the functionality that they were using on maybe the traditional European markets, for example, and the speed and the efficiency that they had on that. And I think it was more about saying, right, we've got new plans to move into a new area. We'd love to apply this into that area. Let's talk about a project to do that. And we've done that in Asia for one client, and we've done it in the US for the US markets as well for two of our really sort of long-standing customers as well. So, you know, we obviously see that as we're very happy that they would think of us in that way. But then it's also, again, it's the challenges there again, right? So we're in these markets now. How do we need to adapt to their own intricacies, their own nuances? How are we going to tackle that now? So it's a continual thing.
So we talked a bit about Europe. You mentioned APAC before. We also look, of course, on Australia, US, and other markets. To zoom in now on the mutual topic here, US. What is it that you precisely offer in the US in the energy space?
We offer our services onto the ICE US markets. So, you know, onto global gas. So a lot of people want to trade ICE Henry Hub, for example. We also have exposure to all the oil benchmarking contracts as well. So ICE Brent crude on the ICE side, and on CME for WTI as well. We also offer on CME, so we're across all exchanges. So, you know, for one client, we've set up a metals trading on there as well. So it's anything that's trading on the major exchanges out there. If there's client appetite as well, I think we will look to move into the ISO side as well. I think there's a a natural synergy for what we do and the type of service we offer and those markets as well. But I think that's maybe a couple of steps away into next year.
So the activity in the US, even if it's on the ISO side, it's on the futures, long-term futures, and not per se the day ahead, real-time nodal kind of spread trading.
Yeah, at the moment I would say that. I think we would have to. I mean, I think it's something we just need to look at in more detail in terms of just from a technical perspective and what's the types of opportunities there and what we offer. I think there's a natural fit, but like anything, we have to deep dive into that. I think trading's a lot. People think of it in a lot more of a holistic way. Like people are less bound by their regions as well. So there's a lot more interest people in Europe about what's happening in America, about what's happening in America with people in Europe, out in Asia as well. So I think the ability to be able to offer a wide range and cast your net wide is really important, because I think that really piques the interest of the traders at the moment.
And of course, we are really from the energy side, but for clarity, 𝐸𝐴Star offers a lot more, right? It's just commodities in a wider sense, all kind of asset class that are supported, right?
Yes, that's right. I mean, if I was to say another trend as well that we've also seen is sort of the sort of adjacent asset classes that come with things like the rise of renewables. So we've seen people look at metals. We've done some projects for our clients in that space.
Bigger picture, hedge funds who trade any kind of asset class could have major benefits of using the whole service pack that you have. What is the biggest challenge you think you will face with 𝐸𝐴Star over the next 5 years?
So I think the challenge over the next 5 years is kind of like the same challenge that as we always face is where people are looking to change from one system to another. But I think that's something we're continually always working on and pushing on, and I think as long as it gives us an incentive that we need to, that if we're doing one thing in one way and we're feeling like it's not working, we need to change that and or make it better. So it keeps us lean, keeps us efficient, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. Some inertia in the market.
I think we can safely say that we're all gonna be busy for many years to come.
It has been quite a boom, I think, the last
Yeah.
few years on just new entries and market expansion. Yeah.
I think services and ISVs, I think one of the big things actually is really they actually should be able to work together, because some people want to use one system, some people want to use another, one provider. There's numerous things that people like to use, but I think the ability that you can actually use your solution, and it means that you can use that in conjunction with another solution as well. I think that's a great thing. I think we should be promoting choice, because then it's actually a win-win for everyone. If we're just trying our best to just hold on to a client or take over every piece of what they need, if they actually want to use someone else also, that's fine. But I think just being able to work together, I think is really that, because the pie is really big now. The market's grown and there's like enough room for everyone to with their own niche easily.
And that's why we're sitting here today, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If we would have to ask one last question, I always ask. I like to ask this question. What would you suggest a new market entrant to, how to go about entering this maze of information and technology and all this when coming into the energy industry?
So I think aligning yourself with people with good experience in the market, and I think aligning yourself with people you can have a long-term partnership with, because things will continually change and you'll need to rely on them and their expertise to be able to do that. So I wouldn't look at it as something you're just fixing here and now. Think of it as something that you can use and stick with and grow with, because I think those partnerships pretty much always turn out to be good.
Thank you.
Good feedback.
That's really, really valuable feedback. And I think, if you just take a step out of this for a second and look from a, personal perspective as well, it's just so much value in what you said, like partnerships are there to last.
And at the end of the day, you want to go to work, have some fun, enjoy the people who are around you, and go home happy. And that's not going to happen with demotivated people or people you don't like. So yeah, getting the right people, it's all about people, right? Getting the right people who are motivated, happy, energetic, smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with your own competition. You can always, even when you speak to them, and you can always learn something new. And if someone's got, you know, a like-minded energy and all of those things, I think that's, you're all continually learning, and then you can always just implement that into what you're doing. So I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Raj, thank you so much that you have joined us to this episode today. It was really,
you.
really nice to have you here. Everybody, please get in touch with Raj from Eszter. He's the managing director of UK, and he's waiting for you to, you know, shoot an email if you have any questions or doubts, or you want to get in touch with us. You know how to find us. If you have any suggestion who should join us in the next episode, please also let us know. We are welcoming new participants continuously. And then with that note, you guys, thank you so much for your time
Thank you.
today.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh my god, this guy!
This does not go online. No.